welcome to Hometown Happenings. I'm Carol McCarthy along with Tara Getter from Pelican River Watershed District, and we're standing here in the shoreline of Lake Melissa here in Detroit Lakes, south of Detroit Lakes, and Tara and a number of other guests today will be talking about the infested waters. It was determined this summer, 2014, that Lake Melissa is now infested with zebra mussels, and also another lake in Becker County was added to that list of infested waters, Pickerel Lake near Cotton Lake. And Tara, let's talk about the situation. What has occurred here in Lake Melissa?
Yes, just a little over a week ago, we received phone calls from a resident who was kind of just playing along the beach and started picking up little sticks like this and rocks and noticed that there were zebra mussels on it. And this individual ended up calling the DNR, and they came out and investigated, and they found several specimens just like this one. This one wasn't taken out of Melissa, but it's very similar to it, that they found on the west shore on the access, the outlet of the lake.
Okay. So once it's been determined, obviously you said they did some investigating. What happens next? I see we have an orange sign that says invasive species alert on it.
Well, first of all, they need to have a DNR personnel person verify that the mussels are in the lake. And then after that is the paperwork. So they send down paperwork to the state office, and it has to go before Steve Hirsch and the governor's office to sign off that they designate the water. And so that takes about 4 or 5 days from the initial investigation to occur. And by that time, there's a lag time between discovering it in the lake and then also releasing it to the public, that knowledge.
All right. Okay, so for the rest of the summer and forever, we'll have this sign here.
And hopefully we don't see any more additions to that sign, but we will have that sign. And what does it mean for us? It means people like the DNR coming to the lake accesses and performing more inspections. We also are working with Becker County and using the money that the state legislature gave us, hopefully to designate more level 1 inspectors so that it's not all financed by the lake associations, which it has been. So we're hoping that the state money will be used for that. Also to have a decontamination unit within our area. I get phone calls at my office where people are asking if they've been on infested waters. It would be such as a Melissa here or Pelican Lake, and they want to move their equipment to another lake. How do I clean it properly before I move it to another lake? They want to be responsible. The other thing is that we will be working with the Lake Association regarding looking at their equipment in the fall. So right now we know the infestation is contained mostly at the outlet area. So in the next few years, we will see and document how the spread around the lake is, because this is new science for us. There's not that many infestations in the state of Minnesota, so this is all going to be documented how the spread is occurring. And it was interesting, we just heard from Mariah Rufer from R&B Labs, where she's been out on the lake on Pelican, and every time they threw their rake in the water and lifted it up, every plant was covered with zebra mussels, and that's how it's changed on Pelican Lake in just 5 years.
So it covers plants and docks and boats, and I mean basically anything that's in its path.
Any object it will attach to, and so that's why it's so insidious. Where homeowners, we start looking at the docks and lifts on the lake here. And in the fall, we'll ask people to start running their hands along, because the first part of a zebra mussel, it'll feel more like sandpaper. You're not going to see a full mussel. It's going to feel like sandpaper. So we'll start asking people to start checking them. And I'm sure the DNR personnel will be out here this fall and trying to help with those inspections.
Tara Getter from Pelican River Watershed District here on the Lake Melissa access, talking about the infestation of zebra mussels found in Melissa and also Pickerel Lake this summer of 2014. Now, Tara, there's been a lot of talk about, too, how, we've got adult zebra mussels, and they figure that there are also the microscopic zebra mussels that no one can see. You talked about the sandpaper effect, but how do we know that that's not, that they're not in other lakes associated with Melissa?
That's a great question. We don't know. And that's why we as citizens should always assume that every lake could be potentially infested, and so that we always clean, drain, and dry our equipment when we leave the lake. And so we need to assume that that it is infested versus it's not infested.
That's a cue for us to take a break. We're going to come back with Sandy Gunderson from Becker County Environmental Services. She is the AIS Education Coordinator for Becker County, next on Hometown Happenings. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. Here with Sandy Gunderson from Becker County. She is the Aquatic Invasive Species Education Coordinator. Sandy, Tara had talked about what people can do who come and go from lakes, and I guess it's every lake that really should consider doing this. But give us the three words everybody ought to know.
It takes all of us to do it. We're working at the county level and at the Pelican River watershed level and the city level really hard on getting the system and the program set up. But we need every single person that owns a boat or owns a watercraft to take personal responsibility to clean, drain, and dry.
All right, clean, drain, and dry. So walk us through the process a little bit. If I'm pulling up with whether it's a watercraft or a fishing boat.
Yeah. Basically, you pull your boat out of the lake, pull it up in the lot, and then make sure that your plug is pulled, that the water is drained out of there. You have to look in all the open spaces in your boat, get as much of the water out as you can. If you have weeds hanging anywhere, whether it's on your trailer or on your boat, get the weeds pulled off. It's a law, getting the water and the weeds off. And then if you can, the great thing is have a sponge with you and just wipe down your whole boat, getting all that, as much as you can, off your boat before you leave. And then if you have bait, if you didn't bring water with you, to change the water, you need to leave the water that you brought from the lake with the bait there. Not the bait, though. Bring the bait with you. Pour the clean water that you brought with in. Okay. And bring your bait with you. Either that or dispose of it on site. Okay. Not in the lake, though, in a trash can. Okay.
So what if I'm going from Melissa to Detroit Lake in a day?
In a day? Well, that's a good question. The best thing to do would be not to do that. Okay. Because it's infested here. It isn't in Detroit Lake. So right now, presently, we don't have a decontamination unit. We're working on that. And so if you can, wipe down your boat as much as you can, get the water out. The sponge will do great things. So that would be, I recommend washing that out.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And we have one more guest to get to, yep. But he's from the Red River Basin Commission. We're going to take a quick break and be back with Spencer next. Yep. Carol McCarthy back on Hometown Happenings with Spencer McGrew from the Red River Basin Commission. And Spencer, tell us a little bit about the more regional approach that's being taken to aquatic invasive species.
Sure. Well, at the Red River Basin, we are trying to approach this from a basin-wide approach, one watershed, one plan. So we're trying to develop this program with RMB Labs and the Lake Report Card. We want to scale that up to the whole basin and then maybe even to the whole state. And based on the feedback we've gotten at a few meetings we've been to, we just started rolling it out. It's very positive, and we think we can do it.
All right. So you've been in touch with the local and the county, the folks.
Yes. I went to the Becker County invasive species meeting yesterday, and I'm going to the COLA meeting, the Becker County COLA meeting tonight, and then I'll be in Fergus Falls tomorrow for their invasive species meeting. So pretty busy.
All right. So AIS is being tackled from local, county, and regional now. So that's a very neat thing.
Yes. Regional, watershed, state, local. So we're on the right track, I think.
All right. And once again, it is all about responsibility of the individual.
Yes. Individual responsibility. We need to, educate people, have them take a stand and take a stake in this issue because they are spread by people like you and me. We need to be careful.
All right. Thanks, Spencer. Spencer McGrew from the Red River Basin Commission. And that's going to wrap it up for me. Although AIS is still out there, we'll continue to cover this on Hometown Happenings. For TV3, I'm Carol McCarthy.